I learned a lot of experience out there in the world. I like developed certain skills. I like. It's like, can I pick your hat up and wave it around?
All right, now since you opened up something, I want to
Yeah.
respond to something you said
Okay.
about. So you're bipolar.
Yeah, a little bit.
How did you said you're not on lithium anymore?
No,
Are you on anything?
no.
Well, how does that go away? I mean, I thought that like someone who's bipolar, you have a psychosis. You're psychotic.
I have some tendencies towards being bipolar, so I think if you were to like strictly clinically diagnose me, I would not be diagnosed, never have been diagnosed as bipolar. But let's say there's like 11 questions to determine a bipolar diagnosis, and let's say if you're more than 7, you're bipolar. Maybe I was a 4 or a 5.
Oh, okay. Like on the MMPI or whatever the hell it's
Yeah,
called.
whatever. So I have some tendencies towards being bipolar, but I was able to go off all my medication through Alexander Technique. So I wouldn't recommend that to everyone, and I wouldn't recommend that to anyone in
You
specific.
should
but
blog about that. You
but-
blog about everything else about
yeah,
that.
generally speaking, I think if you do Alexander Technique, you will come to a much more poised state. And I know that a lot of other people have been able to go off all their medications as well from Alexander Technique. So I haven't taken any psychiatric medications in about 2.5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you a psychotic bipolar or a neurotic bipolar?
I was neither. I was not bipolar. I was just tendencies to.
But you were prescribed medication. Great psychiatrist you were sent to.
It was a good psychiatrist because I had some tendencies. I remember it's because I'll tell you the story. So I was at a shul, this Orthodox shul,
Angels getting killed. Yeah.
and I was on probation
Okay.
because I had sold Luke4.com. I was not writing on the porn industry anymore at the time, but I had this scandalous history. So they said you can come daven, but you can't participate in any other way. So I was there for about 9 months, and they kind of took me off probation. And I went to this lunch. And I had a problem then that I still have now. I'll often lead very lonely life during the week without much social contact. And then when I get around people on Shabbat, I tend to be over the top. Because I'm like so happy to be like mixing with people. And also people are kind of like forced to mix with me on Shabbos because we go to shul. And they, they're not going to like leave shul just because I'm there. So it's like, oh, I'm here with people, so happy. So I was over the top at this lunch. And I said it was a singles lunch at the shul. And I said some suggestive things to various women at the lunch, and the rabbi got a call, with complaints. And as I was already, I'd been on probation, he was watching me, everyone was watching me, because everyone knew that I used to write on the porn industry, and any step out of line, bam. So I stepped out of line, bam, the rabbi calls. And he wanted to talk to my psychiatrist, like, what's going on? And so I called my psychiatrist, and my psychiatrist said, well, I don't want to talk to your rabbi. I don't think this reaches to a level where it necessitates like breaking patient-doctor confidentiality, etc. But he says, from what you're talking about, it sounds like you might benefit from going on a little bit of lithium. And so he put me on a low dose of lithium, and it really did help. It really evened me out, balanced me out, don't react so quickly. And the same thing with Alexander Technique, kind of evens me out, balances me out. I don't react so quickly, so you may say something that's inflammatory, but usually I just like stay back, I inhibit, and then I don't live in reaction. Like living in reaction sucks. Living with response is cool. But if you just triggered and react, and you're just living in reaction, like people are triggering you, and you're just reacting all the time, that sucks because you don't have any choice. When you react, you don't have any choice. But if you can stop, inhibit, think your directions, come back to your poise, to your length, to your width, and then choose a response, that's cool. So from years of study and practice of the Alexander Technique, I've been able to move from living a life in reaction to living much more with a considered response. But you're right, I should blog about going
You
off
should.
medication.
You talked about everything else under the sun.
Yeah.
When it comes to Alexander, it's like every day I look over there, it's like Alexander this and Alexander that. Now there's something interesting. You should put it up there.
You're right. You're right. Thank you for that.